Why most students fail to learn English, and how to finally succeed. Imagine spending 6, even 10 years studying English in school. You memorize hundreds of words, you pass exams, you complete grammar exercises. But when someone asks you a simple question in English, your mind goes completely blank. Why does this happen? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of students around the world study English for years and still struggle to speak it confidently. The problem isn't that they're stupid. It isn't because English is too difficult. The real problem is that most students are learning English the wrong way. Today, we're going to uncover the biggest reasons why so many people fail to learn English, and, more importantly, what successful learners do differently. Let's begin. Reason number 1. They study English instead of using English. Most students treat English like a school subject. They read textbooks. They memorize grammar rules. They underline vocabulary. But language isn't meant to stay inside a notebook. Imagine trying to learn how to swim by reading books about swimming. You could memorize every technique, but the moment you jump into the water, you'd panic. English works the same way. You don't become fluent by studying English. You become fluent by using English, listening, speaking, reading, writing, every single day. Reason number 2. They're afraid of making mistakes. This is probably the biggest reason. Students worry about sounding stupid. What if I pronounce it wrong? What if people laugh at me? What if my grammar isn't perfect? So they stay silent. But here's the truth. Every fluent English speaker has made thousands of mistakes. Children don't learn their first language because they're perfect. They learn because they're willing to make mistakes every single day. Mistakes aren't proof that you're failing. They're proof that you're learning. Reason number 3. They memorize instead of understanding. Many students try to memorize long vocabulary lists. 20 words today, 30 words tomorrow, a week later. Most of those words are forgotten. Why? Because the brain remembers meaning, not random lists. Instead of memorizing isolated words, learn them inside real sentences. Watch movies, read stories, listen to podcasts. See how native speakers actually use the language. Context makes vocabulary unforgettable. Reason number 4. They translate everything. This habit slows down your brain. You hear an English sentence. First, you translate it into your native language. Then you think of a reply. Then you translate your answer back into English. By the time you're ready, the conversation has already moved on. Fluent speakers don't translate. They think directly in English. That doesn't happen overnight, but it starts by learning simple phrases instead of translating every word. Reason number 5. They focus too much on grammar. Grammar is important, but grammar alone doesn't make you fluent. Many students know every tense, yet they can't order food in a restaurant. Why? Because communication comes first. Think about young children. Their grammar isn't perfect, but they communicate successfully every day. Grammar should support communication, not replace it. Reason number 6. They don't listen enough. Listening is the foundation of speaking. Before babies say their first word, they spend months listening, thousands of hours. Most students spend far more time reading than listening. That's why English sounds fast and confusing. The solution is simple. Listen every day. Even if you don't understand everything, your brain gradually becomes familiar with pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions. Reason number 7. They give up too soon. Learning English isn't a one-week challenge. It's a long journey. Many people feel excited for the first month, then progress slows down. They think, I'm not improving, so they quit. But language learning isn't linear. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. Then suddenly, everything starts making sense. The people who become fluent aren't always the smartest. They're usually the ones who refuse to give up. Reason number 8. They only learn during class. Imagine someone who only exercises for 1 hour every Monday. Would they become fit? Probably not. The storm is true for English. If your only exposure is inside a classroom, progress will always be slow. Surround yourself with English. Change your phone language. Watch YouTube in English. Follow English creators. Listen to music. Read comments. Even 15 or 20 minutes every day makes a huge difference. Reason number 9. They compare themselves to others. Comparison destroys motivation. You see someone speaking fluent English, you think they're so talented. What you don't see is the hundreds or thousands of hours they spent practicing. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday. Small improvements every day lead to extraordinary results. Reason number 10. They don't enjoy the process. This might be the most important reason of all. If learning English feels like punishment, you'll eventually stop. Find content you genuinely enjoy. Love football? Watch football interviews. Love gaming? Watch gaming videos in English. Love movies? Watch films with English subtitles. When learning becomes enjoyable, consistency becomes effortless. Final thoughts. Here's the truth. There is no secret method, no magical app, no overnight shortcut. Fluency doesn't belong to people with the highest IQ. It belongs to people who keep showing up, people who practice, people who make mistakes, people who stay curious. If you've struggled with English until now, don't think you failed. Think of it this way. You've simply discovered what doesn't work. Starting today, speak a little more, listen a little longer, read a little every day. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. Because one day, without even realizing it, you'll have a conversation in English that once seemed impossible. And that's the moment you'll realize you were capable all along.
If this helped you, subscribe for more.